LMG Mark III. 2239, which I believe what she's using. Oh. So that's the same. 1412. Yeah. You're just going to get that, Parvati. Because that's way more damage. Okay.
Great work. Nicely done.
Definitely routing us. Like in a very specific direction here. Interesting.
Running out, done, Captain.
Death.
To shreds, you
Some
got
death.
it, Captain.
Have some more death. Good job, Parvati.
I usually just kick them down.
Messages. Thank you for using... Okay, that's fine. Good fellow. On the latest test results from the human inquiry. Fortuitously, I have had the opportunity to review the latest test results from human inquiry. I agree with your and the committee's general assessment that these test results are unacceptable. The latest experimental sample of adrenal time demonstrates a 15 out of 17 possible symptoms in my rubric of dangerous, lethal, or otherwise high-risk side effects. I have sent a full report to your desk, the abstract of which is as follows. Adrenatime, in its current state, fails to meet the project's standards. By my calculations, Adrenatime users trade short-term improvements in productivity for long-term losses in productivity. Specifically, dead workers are unproductive workers. Whenever a calculation produces an unforeseen result, it is prudent to take a look at one's numbers. Incorrect numbers lead to flawed calculations, and if the HIA's calculations are sound, then their numbers, that is to say, the drugs provided by chem labs, must be flawed. Mr. Lawrence Goodfellow, I have not received your correspondence regarding my previous letter. I can only assume you are still, to deploy a periarchal colloquialism, chewing over my commentary. I have several additional insights which I have collected into an itemized list and sent to your secretary. I believe the root of the problem lies in the chem lab. As mentioned in my previous letter, incorrect numbers lead to flawed calculations. The problem must therefore be found in Dr. Jasper's Lowe and his stewardship of the chem lab. Dr. Lowe is notoriously lackadaisical and careless manager, and pardon my language, a poor scientist. Chem lab must provide HIA with safe, high-quality, carefully refined drugs to which it can test, with which to conduct tests. The slapdash, artless, high-risk formula chem lab has been delivering to HIA can only result in unacceptable test results. I understand that safety and high-quality development are often antithetical to the corporate strategy of Spacer's Choice, but in my life I have found that the perspective of an outsider can be helpful. Mr. Lawrence, your response to my previous 2 letters are conspicuous by their absence. Based on my analysis of your personality type, dietary habits, patterns of speech, and mode of dress, I must conclude with reasonable certainty that your silence stems from trepidation and anxiety. If I must presume to offer you some advice cultivated after years of living in Byzantium, may I suggest that your anxiety stems merely from ignorance? Ignorance is the easiest of vices to rectify, and requires only learning and heeding the advice of one's betters. The success and failure of any project depends on the readiness of its constituent staff to perform their mandated duties. Scientists perform experiments, researchers research, managers manage. When one of those roles acts outside of its limitations, chaos is introduced into the system. Take heart. You need not fear the burden of management. The secret of good leadership is strong oversight combined with careful, fastidious, numerically driven, scientifically supported management. The turbulence experienced by this project is emphatically not the fault of the OCI. However, it is the role and duty of the OCI to fix these problems. Ours is the only department capable of righting the ship of innovation in the waters of chaos. Okay, so that guy clearly was like, get your stuff together. Department of Strategic Branding. The OCI Cerebral Committee has hereby decided by unanimous vote that the recent test results from HAIA are unacceptable, untenable, and unsatisfactory. This message is an informal expression of our dissatisfaction, which will be formally declared by a memorandum in the near future. While the committee recognizes the marketing potential of insomnia and chemical dependency, the remaining side effects described in HIA's latest report are incompatible with the OCI's vision of a Dreamtime product. Corporate auditors will expect to see a product that dramatically improves the long-term productivity of Spacer's Choice workers by reducing the need for rest and mitigating the effects of long-term melancholia. The product delivered to HIA induces psychosis, violent behavior, paranoia, and alarmingly, disobedience. The OCI cannot accept a product that transforms long-term users into dissidents. The damage to our corporate image will inevitably benefit our rivals, Anti-Clio. It's not the best choice, it's the only choice. To my colleagues in the OCI Cerebral Committee, I share your concerns, but not your alarm. In times like these, I encourage you to recall our passage from our Spacer's Choice User's Manual. The failures of subordinates must never become the failures of leadership. The meaning is simplicity itself. HIA has failed to deliver acceptable results because they have failed to perform their professional obligations. My esteemed colleagues, you and I possess a number of law-given qualifications, but we have not been relegated to lab coat work. Let me reiterate, we are not test tube jockeys, we are leaders. HIA's purpose is to deliver test results. Our purpose is to deliver a quarterly report. I'd like you to reach out to Miriam Kumara at Strategic Branding. Have her team clean up HIA's report, trim the fat and tuck its guts. Make it look presentable for our auditors. Cerebral Committee. My team and I have finished reviewing HI's latest experimental report. We believe the failure of this report is manifest in its flagrant disregard for company-approved language. To that end, we have drafted a revised report, edited with language consistent with Spacer's Choice company vision. The HI's original point mentions clear evidence of dangerous side effects associated with using a Dreamtime product, including, but not limited to, paranoia, violent confusion, chemical dependence, and dissident adjacent behavior. We propose the following cognitive revisions. Dangerous side effects, exciting collateral benefits, paranoia, dramatically heightened attention, violent confusion, physically assertive behavior, chemical dependence, metabolic compatibility, dissident adjacent behavior. Any mention of dissident behavior in this report may encourage dissidence. Recommend cutting this phrase entirely out of respect for our readers. Interesting. So you bring in a PR team to fix the issue that you've created with your product. Alright, status. Hack 40. Revising. Rewriting treated database. It's redefined. I don't know what that just did. But it did something. Let's get a little bit of a cell going on here. Cell. Repair and all. Actually, I'm curious here.
Oh, wow. I think the screen's taller than my entire shop back home.
What's this screen? It's not that big, woman.
About your test subjects, I assume you're trying new formulations on humans, correct?
I wonder if raptidons have taste buds.
Alright, let's... Should be able to hear that.
About your test subjects, I assume you're trying new formulations on humans, correct? Where do they come from, Dr. Ambrose? They come from Tartarus, don't they?
They do.
Why the reluctance? Providing life-affirming employment to the indigent, the criminally indigent.
Here we go.
And that's a social good. Don't you agree?
I have a staff meeting to attend. Excuse
Here they come!
I have a staff meeting to attend. Excuse me. I have a staff meeting to attend. Excuse me.
Incoming!
I wonder if they raised to the max level then. That'd be interesting.
Wrapped among the rocks.
Incoming!
You broke rule number 1, which is don't mess with us. Security notice. By order of Lawrence Goodfellow, auditorium projector room must remain sealed until further notice. Please answer inquiries by visiting auditors with the following pre-approved message. Mr. Goodfellow is excited to inform you that our projector room is undergoing upgrades in preparation for our grand quarterly report presentation. We thank you for your patience. Please return to the reception desk and request a complimentary bottle of Zero-G Brew. On auditing. If you're receiving this memo, you're a designated concierge of this auditorium. Please commit the following message to your memory when guiding auditors along a grand tour of our office. Oh, jeez. No report this quarter. I'm going to be blunt because I want you to understand the gravity of the situation. Someone, or several someone, sabotaged our quarterly reports. They're all gone. Irretrievably damaged. The cerebral committee putting their heads together to come up with a solution. We hope to have one before the auditors arrive. In the meantime, here's what I need you all to do. 1. Do not under any circumstances talk about the sabotage to anyone outside our office. 2. We need to soften our language. Studies show that repeated use of the word sabotage can incite sabotage in people who lack moral fiber. I'm not taking any chances. I need you all to come up with an alternative way of describing the sabotage. Something like the incident, but not so obvious. Reply. We've received all your suggestions. After much deliberation, the Cerebral Committee has unanimously voted to refer to the sabotage incident as the incident. Interesting. Why not? Instructions. Personnel files. Hack. Trouble deciding on a font for a new development letterhead. Ordered 10. Oh, so this person was literally spying on people. Wrote 20 good words today, but can't figure out what order they should be in. Brainstorming ideas for new flavor of salt tuna. Still having trouble deciding on a font. Ordered 3. Instructions. Medicate. Medical surgeon to be determined.
Ugh. Ain't no one should have to go like that.
Ready for anything.
Okay, so that was a giant circle. He's already dead.
Covering you!
meeting began with a traditional recitation of a passage from Space's Choice User's Manual, followed by regulation roll call. Every member of the Cerebral Committee was present. A motion to implement the revised guidelines on linguistic cleanliness in company-approved language was brought to the table. The motion passed unanimously. A motion to award Miriam Curran and Lawrence Goodfellow with commendations on their permanent record was brought to the table. The motion passed unanimously. A motion to file a demerit on the permanent records of Dr. Jasper Lowe and Dr. Marion Blakesley was brought to the table. The motion passed unanimously. A motion to redact any record of derelict employees, missing employees, employee desertion, or incidents of workplace violence from official company documents was brought to the table. The motion passed unanimously. A motion to dismiss the meeting early was brought to the table by Lawrence Goodfellow in the spirit of conviviality and good humor. The motion was likewise passed unanimously. The Cerebral Committee adjourned for 0G and cigarettes.
You could fit whole families in here.
Flurry makes the worst winter storms look like a light drizzle. The longer it rages, the fastest weapon will bury its foes. I think I'm going to give this to Nyoka. Admin functions. Oh.